Hi YouTube, it's Tracy from Entrepreneur Girl, and today is Tracy's Tuesday Tips, and we're going to be talking about how to double your sales by utilizing complementary items. And the example we're going to give is if you're selling books, you can consider items like VHS, CDs, DVDs, audio tapes, video games, and such. If you've been selling for a while and you kind of hit a plateau, don't worry, it really does happen. Try to month by month see our numbers increase, and if we start to see that it's decreasing or if it's not increasing at a rate we would like, then we have to kind of problem solve and look at our business and find ways that we can try to push through that plateau and on to the next level. So one of the things that you can do is you can consider adding complementary products. And I'm going to put this in our intermediate series playlist because I think this is more of an advanced technique. If you're interested in watching the rest of that series, then you can click here. If you're on a mobile device, I'll go ahead and put it below too so you have it there. So what are complementary products? What am I talking about? Complementary products are products that go alongside your existing products. An example of that might be if you're selling razors and you decide to sell razors alongside shaving cream. Or like we're going to be talking about, you're already selling books, so you decide to add cassette tapes or other media type products. So our example today is books. You know I sell a lot of books. I love books. Books is where I got my start. And I've actually been working on books all week. So I have another listing pile that I've been working on this week. It has a lot of media type items. And it reminded me that when I get these, when I go to these sales and I buy in bulk, when I empty the boxes, I don't just have books. I have books and video cassette games and tapes and vintage puzzles. I've found a variety of items in these boxes from the garage sale book sales or the church book sales. And so it just reminded me that this happens quite frequently. Okay, so these are the products that I found this week. I was going through and I was listing some of the items, and I had boxes of books that I had picked up from a book sale from the library, and I was going through them, and this is just kind of a sampling of what I was finding. I was finding a lot of vintage books, which I love, and then I was finding, you know, some newer books, which is fine too. And then I found things like audio CDs, music, and then I found like books on tape, CDs. I found a whole bunch of games, PlayStation, Xbox, and just your PC games. I found some DVDs, educational and just regular. And I found a whole bunch of VHS tape, cassettes. I found box sets like this. And we're going to be talking about all of these in a minute. Some things that I found that I've already sent off was I found a huge old cassette case filled with vintage, the little cassettes that you put in the little cassette player. And so that was really neat. And I found quite a few puzzles, like the old vintage children's wooden puzzles. They make newer models now, but these were the actual older ones, which were awesome too. So this is a sampling of what I found alongside my books. I mean, the majority of it was books, but I did find a lot of other items, and these are all, they all complement each other because they're kind of in the same class, they're in the same field, they're all media type products. And since I know so many of you are starting with selling books, which is how I started too, so I love that. But a lot of the people that I work with and a lot of the comments I read below are trying to make, you know, the money that you need with selling books. And sometimes that can be hard because books are, I always say, tend to be a lower profit item, and a lot of people disagree with me. I always get people that disagree with me every time I say that. But for me, that's just what I found. I do find really super profitable books. I find $99 books and $75 books. I do. It's just not the reality of my norm, you know, every day. The books that I find are between, you know, are selling for between $8 and $25. That's probably the average. So when I buy books, I try to buy them for 10 cents, 20 cents, maybe 25 cents. I hardly ever pay over $1 unless I've already scanned it and know I have an exceptional book. But when I'm buying in bulk, which is how I mainly acquire my media products, I'm really generally paying 20 cents per item. And with that low price, I have a lot more wiggle room in my profit margin. You know, anything under $5, you're really not going to make money. I don't even list it. I don't even send it in. If it's above a $5 profit, you know, then it's hair thin. And then of course, as it gets closer to that $10 mark, we're making a lot better profit. But when you're only paying 10 or 20 cents on an item, you know, you have money to be made with items that are of lower value. And I find these items can really branch you out while still staying in your zone. I understand that you want to be booksellers. I understand you're comfortable with that zone of product, and that's great. I just want you to consider branching out with some of these other items. It can substantially affect how much money that you're making in a month. And if you're hitting that plateau and you're really looking to double your sales, this could be your ticket. You know that I don't mind the longer tail items. I don't mind items, you know, not all my items have to sell within 30 days. For normal products, I look for a rank under 100,000, actually under 50,000 if I wanted to sell really quickly. For books, I'm looking for a rank under 500,000. I'm looking for a price under $1, but I love books for lots of other reasons. All of these media, they're inexpensive. They're easy to store. I can store 10 to 20,000 items in bins, and I don't have to worry about climate control as much. So I don't have to worry about space. They're lightweight to ship, quick to source. I can find them everywhere. They're easy. If you don't have a lot of capital to invest, this is a good item to get you started. For those reasons, this was my start. It still today is this nice cushion base. I get, you know, a certain amount of profit from media items every single month that I can depend on and I can count on month after month. I like it. It's easy. It's inexpensive. It's a great place to start. Constantly sending them in. And they're just this nice foundation for what I have going with Amazon FBA. I talked about the types of books I buy in other videos because I have a couple of book videos. I will try to pop them up here somewhere on the screen to save you time. If you're interested in looking at those, you can just click on them. But today we're going to be talking about complementary items for books because that's our example for just getting your thought processes on how can you complement what you're already selling. It could be any product that you're currently selling on Amazon FBA, and just to sit and brainstorm with a piece of paper and try to figure out how can I complement this item? How can I put more items out there? Because we know by expanding your inventory and by growing into adding more products and sometimes bigger products, and then you start thinking about bundling, then you start thinking about creating your own listings, then you start thinking about private labeling. These bigger, more advanced concepts come to play, and that is where you just grow and grow and grow your business. And I really want you to grow your business. So that is what this is all about, is the processes behind thinking about expanding your inventory, whatever you got going on right now, with complementary products. So for media, we have our books. We know that I pay 25 cents to $1, although I hate to pay $1. That's the range. I don't buy anything that I can't sell for over $5. I won't even send it in. But I don't scan books that I buy in bulk. I only buy for like really inexpensive, 10, 20 cents a book. And then I will scan them all when I get home because the cost of the goods is so low that I can afford to have some rejects or some other ones that I'm not going to like because I'm buying 10 books per $1. So if I go to a store and I'm scanning and I have to pay $1, I'm making sure that's a really profitable item. This one, I'm pretty confident that 1 in 10 is going to be a good item, and most times it's a lot more than that. And I sell these on average anywhere from $8 to $25. It's hard to talk about averages because you can sell a book for $90. You can sell a book for, a penny on their penny book. So it's hard to say a range, but I'm just going to kind of give you an average that is kind of off the top of my head. All right, so the next thing we have are DVDs. And DVDs, the ones that I really like are like workout videos. P90X is really popular right now, so and those are selling for a really good profit. Educational videos, like this one is educational, or if you can find part of a curriculum, those are also really good. I typically won't pay more than $1 on DVDs either. Then we have CDs. CDs can be a lot of different things. It can be your audiobooks, like this one, Joel Osteen. This one is still sealed. Anything that is sealed, I like because it's a higher profit. So audiobooks, there's also music. This one is also sealed. And on CDs, I'm probably only paying 5 cents on average when I'm buying in bulk. I'll go up, you know, to a quarter, but I don't pay very much for CDs at all. And my selling range on average is probably between $6 and $10. But if I'm paying 5 cents for an item, you can see where there's profit in that. Okay, the next one's going to be video games. Video games come a lot of different ways. These are the PC games. These are the older games, and they typically don't go for as much. And so I see these everywhere. Then you have your PlayStations and your Xbox and all your gaming systems. And there's older ones that don't go for much, and then there's newer ones that go for a lot. One thing like Nintendo, the old Nintendo cassettes that you pop in, there's like a whole market for old Nintendo. So I'm always keeping an eye out for that. Anywhere from a quarter to $1 would probably be what I pay. And video games on average, I'm selling them for between $6 and $20. Again, it's just a huge range. I'm just trying to give you an idea. VHS tapes. And these are, a lot of these, actually all of these were still sealed, but box sets can be very profitable. Not all of them are created equal, but it's something that I definitely take a moment and look at when I'm sourcing. Other VHS that I look for is anything vintage, limited edition. Workout tapes, again, can be really good, like the Anniversary. Richard Simmons, which is also workout, but he had the diet plans, the Dial-A-Mill, those were really popular. Being on TV, limited editions, ones that people can't get anymore and they're looking for. And I used to not even look at these. This is the funny thing. I thought, oh, those are so outdated, nobody will buy those. And truth be told, they are profitable. So you might want to look into VHS tapes. Other things not pictured here would be the puzzles that we talk about. Puzzles kind of seem to go with this. Puzzles can be very profitable on Amazon FBA, and also cassette tapes. Some of my best purchases ever made were just finding odd things that caught my eye and then realizing what I had in front of me. Looking for these, you want to note, you know, like this one has a crack. What is the condition of the jewel case, the hard case? Does it still have the original artwork? Does it have the original instruction sheet? You know, and of course the condition of the disc itself. Is it really beat up and you're not going to be able to sell it, or does it still look, you know, new? Things I don't want you to forget. When you're scanning, using your Profit Bandit scanning app, and you scan it and it doesn't come up, don't just set it down. Go ahead and take a moment to type in the name of the product, because so many times that happens to me where I scan it and it says it's not in the database, and then other times it will still come up just based on you doing a manual search for it. So don't forget to do that. Ad sales, you'll see stacks of brand new jewel cases, CD cases. Go ahead and pick those up when you see them, because you can use them when you have a really good disc and you have the original channel art, but the jewel case is nasty. You can just simply trade out the jewel case and then be able to sell your product for a higher profit margin. If you're FBA, Amazon FBA do not sell the same as Merchant Fulfilled. FBA and Merchant Fulfilled is not equivalent. People will pay a higher price because they want that 2-day free shipping. You're reaching the Prime customers. So if you are Amazon FBA, your price should be higher than Merchant Fulfilled, or at least a third higher. I don't go equal to Merchant Fulfilled. Definitely not lower. Okay, so where do you get these media products to complement your books? Well, we've talked about places like auctions, thrift stores, bulk sales like your Friends of the Public Library or churches. weigh and pays, Craigslist, odd sales, just to name a few. And then rejects. What do you do when you do find them, you do buy them, you bring them home, and you have a pile of rejects? Well, I actually have a pile. Let me show you. Hold on. I'll flip you around here. Can you see it? Okay, so this right here is my reject pile. I'm sitting here typing at my desk, going through all the stuff that I'm listing, and things that I don't want to send to Amazon FBA or that aren't profitable, I'm putting over here. And then I will look to see if I can't eBay them in either lots or individually, or make things on Craigslist or some other way. So that is my reject pile. One of the things you can do is you can collect books from a certain author. So maybe individually they don't make you a lot of money, but if you have 30 from the same author, you can sell it in a lot where you're selling all 30 books together for one price or for one auction bid on eBay. So that's one consideration. Craigslist, you don't only have to be a buyer, you can also be a seller. We've talked about in another video about donating to get that tax receipt, that tax write-off. And there's one thing that we haven't talked about that I'm going to show you now that I think might be a big help. Okay, this is a website called Declutter, and it's at www.declutter.com. And this is a website that you can sell CDs, DVD, games, and get a little bit of money back. I haven't used it too long myself, but I like what I see so far. Right now, I'm getting about 10 cents per CD, and I think I've sold about 500 items, and I've made $125 around. So this is a way when, you know, $125 is better than nothing. At least get my money back on those rejects. So this is just one thing that I wanted to show you so that you could check it out yourself. I decided to get really big and bold. Things like this, VHS players on eBay go pretty good for a pretty good price, even though you think they're out of date. So if you are up to the challenge of expanding in that way, I did want to bring it up. Okay, here I am on eBay, and I'm looking up used VHS, and I'm doing all listings, and I'm doing completed listings. So these are what they've actually sold for, not, you know, what they're being listed for. And we'll just scroll down here, but you can see the prices, you know, range, but VHS players can, you know, add value if you want to deal with the shipping and with electronics and moving parts and all of that. So I'm not saying to do this. This is just to get the processes going that you could, you know, continue to branch out in that way, even with media. But certainly with any products that you're selling on Amazon or eBay, I just want you to be thinking about how you can double your sales, how you can extend the little fingers into other little areas so that you have more depth of product, can attract more visitors to your store and to your products, and you can increase your sales. I hope this video was really helpful to you. If it was, please like, subscribe, comment below. I'd love to hear from you guys, and I look forward to next video.